Welcome back, you guys, to the Beyond the Wrestling Gear podcast. And today I have a guest that I've been anticipating for a very long time. He is the founder of the Love Alive charity, the former NWA television champion, and former WWE superstar, Elijah Burke, also known as the Pope. Welcome.
What's up, David? And I'm happy to be here, man. Thank you for allowing me to come on your platform and to shoot it with you for a minute or two.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. So before all the wrestling, before you started, professional wrestling, I did do some research about you, and you used to serve, as law enforcement right at the very beginning before you wrestled. Tell me about that. How did you get involved in that?
Well, it was real simple, or maybe not. There were several individuals in my family who were part of law enforcement. One of them, my grandfather, my sister, my older sister, and I had no idea, no clue what I was going to do out of high school. I had no idea I was going to make it through high school. I wasn't a troubled youth, I should say, but I was one who just couldn't focus and gotten a lot of mischievous, forays, if I could use that terminology. So yeah, me and the dean's office was like coffee and cream. You couldn't you couldn't have one without the other. So, but at some point, as I grew older, as I began to go from elementary to middle school to high school, it became apparent that I needed to have a plan. And what am I going to do now? My sister encouraged me to go to the police academy. And so that's what I did. And I became one of the youngest at the time graduates from the Jacksonville
Wow,
Sheriff's Office Police Academy.
that's incredible. And how long did you do that for?
5 years, straight out of high school, 5 years.
Awesome, awesome. And is that where, while you did that over time, you found your path into wrestling?
No, not at all. I was a lifelong fan, just like so many others. Becoming a professional wrestler was not um, a goal of mine. It was a dream. So at some point, I'm starting my career. I had no idea that my dream was going to present itself as an opportunity, and I was going to capitalize on the opportunity. And that happened by way of me, the sheriff's office being so crowded with individuals that were being brought in that there was a delay. And I got on the computer at that time, and lo and behold, I saw OVW tryout camp banner. I have no idea how this was on the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office computer, but if you believe in the man upstairs like I do, it's called destiny.
I do.
It was already predestined. I saw it, and I knew it was for me. And I think I printed out the information, or what I saw, I just printed it out right then and there. We didn't have the iPhones at that time. We didn't have the iPhones then and all of that. So, but I printed it out, man, and I followed up on it. And then the rest is history. I sent it off to Jim Cornette, which was in OVW at the time, and Jim Cornette ended up calling me, telling me that I was one of the applicants that they reviewed, and they would be interested in bringing me into the camp, the tryout camp. So there was a process to get in OVW. It was a process to get to a tryout camp. So first was just, filling out the application, sending in the information. Then once you're selected, now you get to go to the tryout camp. And yeah, they only selected 50 people. It was the first time OVW did such a thing under the WWE development program. So I was very fortunate and blessed to have the opportunity, because we see what happened afterwards.
Awesome, man. I did see that you were one of the fortunate ones to wrestle John Cena very early on in his career while he was in OVW
Yeah,
as a prototype.
not
What
not
was that like?
well, not wrestle him, just come across him. He was on his way out, and he was already on his way out the door when I came in. So that no one-on-ones with him, anything like that. But obviously worked with him during my time in WWE. He used to call me EP.
Awesome.
That was how he referred to me. And then later on, when I was transitioning to the Black Pope, before I left WWE, he would scream out backstage, "Black Pope," Black Pope, because that's what they were going to call me. That was my gimmick, Black Pope. That's what I
So it
was called.
seems like you guys had a very good interaction.
Yeah, yeah. Just so A relationship built off of respecting one another. That's it.
Awesome.
Just casual and mutual respect.
What was your time in WWE like for that short period of time between going to ECW and working with the New Breed and Marcus Corvan and all the others backstage?
Well, I mean, again, just being under the WWE banner from the moment I got to OVW, a year later getting signed, a year later going up to the main roster. It was very eye opening. It was eye opening. It was surreal. The first person I see when I get to the arena is my idol, my hero. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, walking down
Yes.
the hallway, and
Bless him.
yeah, and I stop in my tracks as he's walking with those cowboy boots and those jeans, and I'm standing there waiting for him to come so I can introduce myself and shake his hand. And I go, "Excuse me, Dream, Elijah Burke." I stick my hand out. Elijah Burke slaps my hand away. Get that hand away, boy. Puts his arms around me, and he goes, I know who you are. I know your name. Why do you think you here? I know all about you. Go put your bags up. Come back and find me. We're gonna make a lot of money." So, yeah, that was my first personal meeting with Dusty Rhodes, and it was a grand experience, man. I learned a lot from every legend that sold into me, from the Arn Andersons to the Fitz Finleys, Barry Windham, Mike Rotunda. Just all of these guys that you grew up watching, and now you have the opportunity to sit backstage and sit under their learning tree. It was a very good experience.
And I did see too you had the opportunity to challenge for the ECW championship against CM Punk, right?
Several times, yeah. Several times. With that goes back to the tournament that we had. I think a lot of people know, and maybe you don't know, and maybe many don't know, but the tournament for the ECW championship that I was part of, it was scheduled for Benoit to win.
Yeah, I did see that, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
things happen. It's
But it
it's
was scheduled
awful.
for him to win. Yeah. Eventually, due to everything that transpired, I was injured following that diving headbutt from Chris Benoit. My back literally exploded almost, and they saw.
Wow.
So they kept me off of that night of champions in Texas, wherever they were in Texas. That's what they made John Morrison on the spot. He was Johnny Nitro at the time. But they turned him into John Morrison on the spot because I wasn't there. Yeah, so he went on to become the ECW champion. Vince McMahon loves to have it's common practice to have the babyface chase the title, and that was CM Punk rule to chase the title, and then I was obviously his nemesis up in the ECW.
I'm so glad that now that you're with the NWA, they've finally given you the push that you honestly you deserve because you have it all. Yeah, you have the charisma, you have the look. I'm surprised WWE didn't do more with you.
I appreciate it. I can only say if I knew what I know now. It's a process. WWE treated me well. They treated me good. They didn't let me be the good guy, if you will. They didn't let me be the Pope that so many know today, but they treated me well. Vince was high on me. So was Kevin Dunn, and yeah, they treated me well. That's all I can say.
You would have been perfect with creating a stable with Devon, because Devon,
I had a stable. What are you talking about?
I
I
mean,
had
with him, with Devon, Devon himself,
for
because
what?
he's
Because he was a reverend.
yeah, I mean, it would have been really cool to see kind of like a tag team or something between you two, kind of like an angle, where you guys team
Well,
up and
Well, me and Devon did do our stuff. We did it in TNA, and it was one of the best times that I had in the business, facing my big brother Devon, if you will, because I gave him hell. I give him hell every time I see him. So, yeah, we did. Me and Devon, we feuded in 2011 in TNA, and it was a bunch of fun. I took his kids away from him, his twins.
yeah, I remember that now.
They wanted a hip dad and not a, old school Devon. I was, showing them how to have fun. And literally took them down to the Nike outlet in Orlando, first shoot.
Wow.
Literally took them there and bought them some Jordans, just like the ones I had. I was doing this stuff for real. So,
So you were the one spoiling them, teaching them, hey, you gotta have fun. It's not always all good.
yeah, yeah. Get out from under your daddy's wings. He's just trying to, he's trying to conceal y'all and shelter you. And sometimes when real life, by the way, true story, when it's time to become a man, you have to get out the nest. You just cannot be sheltered as some parents are, for lack of better terms. They care, but they're also scared to push that bird out the nest. You gotta fly on your own. We don't want to limit that when it comes to anyone, you, your sister, brothers, or anybody that you know, because it can handicap them heading into the future. It can handicap them. They don't know how to stand on their own. They don't know how to live on their own. They don't know how to provide for themselves because they've been sheltered, and so much else. So,
I wanted to do a quick shout out to Mr. Raheem Jones. He was just telling me the other day that you guys were involved in a program where it was, I believe it was the wrestler formerly known as the Velveteen Dream, Patrick Clark, and yourself and Raheem. I think you guys were in a match or something recently.
well, no, right? Raheem is one of the referees. He comes out.
Okay. Okay.
He's a part of my charity shows. We run 4 shows a year, just like old
Awesome.
pay-per-views. We have our SLE, which are special line events. Every quarter, and it's just our fundraising event. It's a way to try to raise funds to help me, and obviously not just me, but help me, the charity, because
Right.
a lot of them is off of my out of my own pocket, and
Yeah, yeah.
I tell everyone that if I have to continue to do it on my own, the cheapest burger rate. Okay, for instance, we're feeding, and I know you want to talk about it, but since I'm on it, I'll just go ahead and kind of steer the ship for a second.
Yeah.
The cheapest, we feed the people, and we'll be feeding them right now on January the 10th. We do our Big Love Drive event, so we'll do that in January. And when all the homeless and the shelter people come and gather in downtown Jacksonville, we're not feeding them out of a food truck. We're not feeding them out of brown paper bags. We're not
Right.
feeding them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We're feeding them directly out of McDonald's. And we have people that come and line up from as early in the morning as 8 o'clock just so they're there.
Wow.
And the line is so long. And if you ever wish to and care to go look, you can go to the love-alive.org, go to the bottom of the page. You'll clearly see a video link down there that you can go to YouTube and watch, or you can just go to YouTube, TV for you, the number 4 letter U, and search for the Love Alive charity events. We document all of our big ones. Try to document all of them, but definitely our big ones that we do, where we clothe, we give hygiene products, we give grooming products, Scully's, and feminine products, scarves, gloves, because when it gets 50 degrees here in Jacksonville, that's like below freezing. We're
It is.
50, and so it's like below freezing. So yeah, we do all that, but then on top of it, we feed them. And we feed them directly out of McDonald's. And I just want you to get a understanding that to feed that many people out of McDonald's,
It takes a lot.
it takes a lot. It costs a lot. And right now, the cheapest burger at McDonald's is just a little over $3. So you got hundreds of people out. I'm talking about well over 200 to 300 people that are in line to get something to eat. Do the math.
Yeah, and right now the cost of inflation is not helping either. Everything's rising so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'll definitely be putting that link down below so that anybody can, if anybody, can donate and help out, most definitely.
Amen. And it's much appreciated. Again, it's love-alive.org for anyone who wishes to go check it out. And I know he says he's going to put the link there. And also, I just want to give a shout out to you, David, a lead by example, because you have donated. That will be acknowledged shortly, I'm sure, on our social media platforms with others who we can obtain. Every dollar helps, David. Every dollar helps. And we appreciate your donation as well.
Hey, I've always been about helping people myself, so being a youth advocate prior to this,
A
it's
youth
it was all
advocate, you look like a youth. Youth advocate. Yes.
I used to work with middle school kids, all boys, teenage boys.
You
Very,
look
very
like a teenager, but nonetheless,
believe it or not, I'm in my mid-30s. I'm
you
turning
say
30
what?
next year.
How about that? Well, good for you.
Yeah, just take care of myself,
Good
Try
for
to
you.
stay active despite the disability,
Yeah,
don't let it get to me, so,
that's right. That's what's up.
yeah,
That's
you
what's
know?
up, man.
Yeah, like I said, I'm beyond grateful for you coming on today and just being able to share about the charity, which is pretty much like out of everything, one thing I really wanted to target was the charity because I know it means a lot to you, and it also means a lot to me because we're helping people in need, you know?
This will be our 15th year. We'll be going.
Wow,
Yeah,
15 years?
this will be year 15 for me, David, and my crew. And again, and I tell people, we haven't been able to secure no huge funding or anything like that, but anything you donate, you can write off. We are 501c3. We're in Tallahassee. That means that we report to, our capital. And yeah, I got a board, I got everything. I got I got loyal, faithful few that sticks by your boy Pope, believe in the process, believe in what we're doing. And we have people that are part of the charity that not only sow a seed into the charity, but man, they will drive, fly from Texas, from Baltimore, from New Orleans, from Tampa, and the list goes on. So I'm very grateful. That stuff does not go unnoticed. And again, I was able to establish the Love Alive charity simply off of what I have been fortunate enough to do, David, by printing out that piece of paper while I was at the jail and filling it out and conquering my dream, going out there, leaving Jacksonville Sheriff's Office and moving to Louisville temporarily and saying, I'm chasing my dream because I'm gonna come. And I always said to myself, if I was ever able to be in a position to give back, that I would. And I thank God that He's given me the ability, the mindset to do just that.
I love that, brother. I absolutely love what you stand for and what you've accomplished. To wrap all this up, to go back into wrestling a little bit, who has been your best match, your best opponent,
Ooh,
um,
that's good.
in wrestling?
I have, sorry to cut you off there. I know I jumped the gun there. I have, wow, I got a couple of favorite moments, a couple of favorite opponents, I would say my best and certainly one of my favorites was Lockdown 2010, one of the most talked about matches of post career where I was supposed to become TNA champion. That cat's been put out the bag for quite a bit. And as far as I knew going there, I was becoming the champion that day. Something changed along the way. Some said it was my friend, late great Hulk Hogan. There was a lot of discussion about why the change happened, but nonetheless, AJ Styles. I enjoy feuding with AJ Styles. That was AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. My feud with Samoa Joe, and CM Punk in the ECW, WWE during that time. So those was definitely my favorites. And yeah, I got so many favorite moments though. Getting in the ring and going toe to toe with Chris Benoit, someone who I sat home and I was a huge fan of this. The Horsemen and watching them on Nitro and now I'm in the ring and let me tell you something, that man was every bit of intensity personified. Good Lord, you knew you were in the ring with Bill Watts, so that was a huge honor for me when he came over to ECW and hand selected me because me and Bill Watt was supposed to feud. So he was going to get the title, and I was going to be the one feuding with him.
It
Crazy,
gives me goosebumps right now just hearing that. Just the fact that you were gonna feud with him and then, all this happened,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, so being able to wrestle Ric Flair on ECW, that's one of my great. Again, Dusty Rhodes,
Another hero.
the two reasons, side by side. You can't have one without the other because when you grew up watching the NWA as I did, it was Flair and Dusty. It was just that's what it was. You didn't have one without the other. Even when they were in separate programs, somehow they always were connected.
Yes, yes.
Oh, you have an interview, David, about me and you feuding, and somehow I'm still going to bring Punk up in the conversation. The Punk, I ain't forgot about you. I want to bring AJ Nala. David, it's me and you tonight, but AJ, it's gonna be me and you later. They always were connected. Yeah, being in the ring with Flair, I remember after that was over with, man, kid and me, just the tears that just rolled. Again, sharing the ring and being in the ring with Hulk Hogan. I don't know what my picture is. In TNA, just David, um, seeing uh seeing the goodness, uh, and the promise, that is given, uh, by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who says, if you're faithful over a few things, I'll make you a rule for many. The things that He has done, in my life, and given me the desires, of this old heart. Sometimes that heart that deceives you, and whatnot. But I put my trust, in Him, and He's directing my path. He's navigating it. It is written, and so shall it be.
That's awesome, that's awesome. What a way to end this episode, and like I said, you do so much for the community, and I hope you never stop, and I know that if you ever need me to promote anything, just send me some information or anybody send me information, I'll be glad to share it out there for you.
Likewise, and I appreciate that. And I'll be sure to give you guys here, yourself and your podcast. We'll give it a shout out on Post Point of View podcast with Elijah Burke. And
Of course, I did.
yeah, so we'll be sure to give you guys a shout out.
Thank you so much for your time, brother. It's a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, we'll keep in touch.
Likewise, keep smiling.
And there